This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Thursday, the 8th day of December in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Here's what we're tracking tonight. A fidgety chairperson of the Guyana Elections Commission, retired Justice Cloret Singh, appeared before the Elections 2020 Commission of Inquiry this morning, and she testified that she became overwhelmed after the returning officer for Region 4, Claremont Mingo, declared the region's results before a final tabulation of the votes at the last elections. Between repeatedly glancing at her wristwatch to rolling her eyes at some of the questions that she was being asked, the GECOM chair told the Commission of Inquiry that the 5th of March 2020 was a day filled with chaotic events, highlighting a reported bomb threat at the command center to a premature declaration of the Region 4 results. She told the Commission of Inquiry that she was in a meeting with other commissioners when the then Canadian High Commissioner to Guyana came to the room to inform them that the returning officer was declaring results. Justice Singh said at the time she knew that the tabulation of votes had not been completed, so she could not understand how results were being declared ahead of that tabulation. She said she became confused, and at one stage she became so dizzy and frustrated that she locked herself in a room, away from the chaos that had enveloped the GECOM command center after Mingo's declaration.
What caused you to go up to this?
Because I felt a bit dizzy, I wasn't feeling well. There were so many things on my mind, I was actually shaking. Because then, you see, with the declaration, and then you had this thing happen. There were so many events. There was an injunction filed by Mr. Nandalal, then against the declaration, and there were so many things on my mind, and I wanted to know what to do the next step. So I just couldn't be bothered with anybody. I went up there just to have a quiet moment.
The retired judge said her decision to lock herself in the room was against the advice of her security detail, who believed that she should have instead taken a break from the building. She testified that she wanted some quiet time to gather her thoughts. The GECOM chairman also said that as she sat in the room, she heard a loud commotion outside, along with what appeared to be chants of persons wanting the GECOM chair. She said based on what she heard, those on the outside had made it clear that they were going to break into the room to get her.
And I panicked. I became very much afraid. And I said, look, and I dialed Miss Amna Ali, and I called her because I was afraid for my life. I thought people were coming to harm me.
I called Miss Amna Ali. It's there.
Okay.
Yes, because I know her.
Paragraph 23.
And she told me she would be calling someone.
Justice Singh said it was not until the door was forcibly opened that she recognized some of the persons on the outside, including political party candidates and the police inspector. She said she was eventually led out of the building by a senior police officer. The commissioners at the inquiry appeared surprised and concerned about many of the revelations from the chairman of the Elections Commission. Former Justice of Appeal in the Eastern Caribbean Court, Senior Counsel Godfrey Smith, grilled the GECOM chair on what he saw as a decision by her to abandon her post at a critical juncture in the elections. He described some of her actions as odd.
But to say you couldn't be bothered seems odd because you're the chair and you're in the middle of a very serious situation. I simply want to know that at that point, did you call the other commissioners and say, look, I'm feeling stressed, let's meet together and weather the storm. I am not taking this on my own. Did that occur to you, or you just prefer to shut yourself
No.
Though admitting that prior to her appointment as GECOM chair, she served as a legal advisor to the Guyana Police Force, Justice Singh said she had no number for the police and simply panicked.
No, I didn't think because it just panic.
It was a stressful
A
situation.
panic.
All right.
Commissioner, you would not understand what was happening, and you would not understand because you didn't live here what stress I was going
That's
through and
precisely
the threats which were making against us.
That's precisely why I'm asking you to help me understand.
So because
A number of persons, including political candidate Dr. Judge Kanai, had testified that when the door to the chairman's room was forcibly opened, the GECOM chair was seen sitting on a sofa next to the Deputy Chief Election Officer, Roxanne Myers, and that there were a group of men keeping guard. Today, Justice Singh denied that allegation, contending that at the time she was in the room with her security guard and driver. She also testified that she had told the returning officer for Region 4 that the tabulation should take place from the statements of poll and not a spreadsheet. She said following court action and after the recount, she faced another hurdle, with getting the chief election officer to present a report with the results from the recount. The GECOM chair said she was forced to send him a number of letters, but indicated that he could not be disciplined at the time since the entire commission just wanted the results to be presented, which eventually did. He was later fired by GECOM. There have been calls for Justice Singh to resign as chairman of the Elections Commission following the aftermath of the 2020 elections. She has rejected those calls and has indicated that she will leave the job when she is ready to do so. More news coming up in just a moment.
Something big is here. GTT presents the moment you've all been waiting for.
'Tis the season to drive with GTT. Get your chance to be one of 4 lucky winners of a Toyota Raise, plus weekly giveaways and more. Simply activate a prepaid plan, sign up for fiber and voice plan, pay any 2 bills with MMG, or join the GTT family, and vroom! It could be you. 4 Toyota Raises, 4 winners. Drive with GTT.
At Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
Sorrel making, hey, garlic stirring, hey, ham and black cake eating. Now this is Christmas. 'Tis the season to get what you've always wanted with a little help from Republic Bank. Same day approvals apply online. It's time to make it happen for yourself and your family. Get cash back for the best Christmas ever. Sorrel making, hey, garlic stirring, hey, ham and black cake eating. Now this is Christmas.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Let's tell you now that nomination day for the 2023 local government elections has been postponed in light of the court action filed by the chief scrutineer for the APNU AFC over the validity of the voters list for the local government elections. The Guyana Elections Commission, during a special meeting today, decided to call off nomination day, which was set for Monday. The chairman of GECOM is now expected to write the local government minister Nigel Daramlal to inform him of the decision. The Chief Election Officer, Vishnu Prasad, in response to a court action, had recommended that there be a 14-day exercise to correct the local government voters list. While postponing nomination day, the Commission is still to decide on the steps that should be taken to address the concerns of the opposition coalition. The governing PPP has also indicated that it is not opposed to more time being given to conduct a claims and objections exercise. GECOM Commissioner Vincent Alexander told News Source that the date currently set for the local elections will likely now be affected. He said what the Commission has done is to proceed to indicate to the public at large that nomination day has been postponed, while it does internal work to clarify its position on what will be done in relation to the voters list. In the court action filed by the coalition's chief scrutineer, the court has been asked to nullify the preliminary voters list, which was issued by GECOM, since the Commission had not followed the law in compiling the list and the subsequent final register of voters. Still with GECOM, the chairman of the Elections Commission, Justice Claudette Singh, today ruled that a decision by the Minister of Local Government, Nigel Dharamlal, to demarcate several constituency boundaries is illegal and out of his remit as minister. That's according to GECOM Commissioner Vincent Alexander. Last week, Mr. Dharamlal announced that the government will be extending some constituency boundaries and revert others to the 2016 local district boundaries for the 2023 local government elections. He said the move is to ensure greater representation at the local polls. The 7-member Elections Commission held a special meeting today, and at that meeting, Alexander told News Source that the government commissioners put forward that the minister had the power to demarcate constituency boundaries, while the opposition made submissions to the contrary. Alexander said the commission met and deliberated on the issue of the demarcation of the boundaries. He said after listening to the submissions, the chairman ruled that there is nothing in law that empowers the minister to demarcate the constituency boundaries, and therefore his decision and actions were illegal. Asked what is next in relation to the adjusting of the boundaries, Alexander said the commission will further discuss the issue. He said it has to be determined what was the minister's rationale behind his decision. The ruling by the chair today has come at a time when there is increased scrutiny hovering over the Guyana Elections Commission and its preparations for the local government elections.
GBTI Quick Cash Christmas is back, just the way you like it. Get up to $500,000 easy for anything you want this Christmas. We ain't waiting on Santa. We buy and we own this Christmas. Apply at your nearest branch or online at www.gbtibank.com from October 15th to December 31st. GBTI, we see Christmas through your eyes. Terms and conditions apply.
A very Merry Guyanese Christmas.
The opposition, APNU-AFC is calling out the Special Organized Crime Unit of the police force, SOCU, for harassment after its chief scrutineer, Carol Smith-Joseph, was summoned by the unit for questioning. The coalition in a statement said it believes that the move is political. It was Smith-Joseph who filed that court action last week that will likely result in another round of claims and objections for the upcoming local elections. In a statement this morning, the APNU-AFC said it wanted to inform the public that the chief scrutineer was instructed yesterday to report to SOCU tomorrow morning. The party said Ms. Smith-Joseph was not provided with any reasons for the summons. The coalition wants citizens to condemn the action as politically driven. The main opposition also said Ms. Smith-Joseph has been on the forefront of its struggle for credible elections, inclusive of a clean voters list, reminding that she has led several protests in front of the Elections Commission, calling for the resignation of the chairperson and for the commission to undertake a process to produce a clean voters list. The APNU-AFC said the summoning of its chief scrutineer by the police is a violation of her basic human rights as a law-abiding citizen, and they also see it as an abuse of police powers. The party said SOCU obviously has become a tool of the governing party and believes in victimization and intimidation. This is not the first time that SOCU is being accused of harassing opposition members. Turning now to the tourism sector. As the new year approaches, the Ministry of Tourism is preparing to improve its marketing of Destination Guyana while expanding the local tourism sector. The Guyana Tourism Authority hosted its annual awards ceremony on Wednesday evening. And speaking at the event, the Minister of Tourism, Onej Waldron, said the country's tourism product is growing from strength to strength. She noted that the government remains a crucial partner in the development of the industry, and she is confident that its vision for tourism is on the right track.
We have seen the trends. As we speak, for 2022, Guyana has already exceeded the pre-COVID visitor arrivals. The tourism sector is buoyant. Thank you very much for that. And we must prepare for increasing numbers. This requires thinking outside the box in terms of our individual developmental plans, the projections for our facilities, as well as our approach to marketing our product.
In addition, the minister explained that there are active efforts to make Guyana a sustainable tourist destination. She boasted that the government continues to engage in talks with several airlines and reputable tourism bodies to assist with marketing Guyana.
We are aggressively working on the development of a hospitality tourism training institute to build the country's human resource capacity. Hence why my friend and colleague, Minister of Education, is here. She is now part and parcel of our tourism promises and vision, and improve the overall quality of customer service provided to reach international levels.
The minister said she was pleased to see that several new tourism products were being nominated for awards. She said that signals that their products were being recognized. Prime Minister Mark Phillips, who delivered the feature address at the awards ceremony, said Guyana has identified tourism as the future of the country's economy.
Tourism is already impacting positively on our economy. It is a major export earner. Prior to the pandemic, it was the third largest export earner and accounted for 7.8% of our GDP before petroleum production commenced.
This year's awards ceremony saw awards being presented in 10 categories, with Rainforest Tours by Wanderlust Adventures receiving the Best New Tourism Product and Experience of the Year, while Pegasus Hotel copped the Hotel of the Year prize. The niece and neighbor of 85-year-old Samintra Saw were today jointly charged with the woman's murder. The niece, 37-year-old Roshani Bansdio, and the neighbor, 48-year-old Mohammed Shahid, were not required to enter a plea to the indictable murder charge. Although the two have been jointly charged, they did not appear in court together. Bansdio had earlier been charged and remanded to prison. She joined the proceedings today via video conference, while her co-accused stood in front of the magistrate at the Fort Wellington courthouse. Having read the joint charge to the two murder accused, magistrate remanded them both to prison. The case will come up again on the 14th of December for hearing. The battered and badly stabbed body of 85-year-old Sumintra Saw, who was known as Auntie Betty, was found on the morning of the 28th of November, after the same niece raised an alarm while claiming that she and the elderly woman had been attacked by gunmen. Investigators did not believe her story, and after questioning her repeatedly, she was arrested for the crime, and a wanted bulletin was issued for the neighbor. He was arrested 1 day later. A post-mortem examination revealed that the 85-year-old woman had been stabbed 7 times and was also beaten to the head.
Census takers are visiting communities across Guyana and collecting information from every household. This information will help the government to plan better for our country's development. All the information shared will be treated as strictly confidential, and everyone is asked to participate. No one should be alarmed about any question asked, because the answers provided will help to improve living standards, decrease community crime rates, and improve access to housing and healthcare, among other benefits.
The census gives us the tool to identify some of these important gaps that exist across communities, within communities, and across regions, so that we can have targeted intervention.
Yeah, we counting way from region 1 to region 10, the whole country. Yeah, we counting way.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor at the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Buster, win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
Across the region tonight, Peru swore in a new president yesterday after a day of political drama that saw leftist leader Pedro Castillo arrested after his ousting from office in an impeachment trial following his last-ditch bid to cling to power by dissolving Congress. Ignoring Castillo's attempt to shut down the legislature by decree, lawmakers moved ahead with the previously planned impeachment trial, with 101 votes in favor of removing him, 6 against, and 10 abstentions. The result was announced to loud cheers, and the legislature called on Vice President Dina Boluarte to take office. The 60-year-old Boluarte was sworn in as president through 2026, making her the first woman to lead Peru. She called for a political truce after months of instability, including 2 prior impeachment attempts, and she said a new cabinet, inclusive of all political stripes, will be formed soon. A Guatemalan court has sentenced both former President Otto Perez and his Vice President Roxana Baldetti to 16 years in jail, each in a graft case years after explosive corruption revelations forced the two out of office early and into prison. The pair were found guilty of illicit association and customs fraud, but were acquitted on a charge of illicit enrichment. Perez, who was president of Guatemala from 2012 to 2015, has spent the last 7 years in prison awaiting a verdict in the case. Baldetti was sentenced to more than 15 years in jail in 2018 in a separate fraud case. The 72-year-old Perez, who took office promising to crack down on crime, was forced to resign with just 4 months left in his term amid protests over the corruption scandals. Perez and Baldetti were accused of leading a customs fraud network that stole some $3.5 million in state funds. And finally tonight, international news. The US and Russia exchanged jailed US basketball star Brittany Griner for notorious arms dealer Victor Bout, held in American prison for 12 years. US President Joe Biden said Griner was safe and was heading home to the US. Griner was arrested at the Moscow airport in February for possession of cannabis oil, and last month she was sent to a penal colony. The Biden administration proposed a prisoner exchange back in July, aware that Moscow had long sought Bout's release. The elaborate swap involved 2 private planes bringing the pair to Abu Dhabi airport from Moscow and Washington, respectively, and then flying them home. According to the Politico website, they walked past each other on the airport tarmac. Speaking in the Oval Office, Brittany Griner's wife, Cheryl, praised the efforts of the Biden administration in securing her release. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.